a lot to get to tonight because, it's awards season. It started in earnest, so it's always a lot shaken in these final weeks of the year into next year. So a lot that we've seen, a lot of new films that we're going to talk about. But first, let's get to the Critics Awards that have been handed out in the past week. Starting with the New York Film Critics Circle. Is that what they are?
Yes. Yes.
Do they actually sit in a circle when they give out these awards?
Yes, Indian style, if that's still a term.
Cross-legged on the floor, yeah. And they got a fire in the middle where they summon spirits.
S'mores.
Okay. Their best supporting actress, which is probably the most surprising award that I've seen out of all of these things, is Tiffany Haddish for Girls Trip.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I mean, she's very good in the movie. She's obviously the highlight of the movie and the comedic, superstar in it. So, but it was a surprise for her to be for a performance from a movie like that, which is a historically important movie too. It being a really, truly, all black production, the first, production to pass the $100 million mark with, an all-black producing and directing and writing and acting team. So
I forget, did Melissa McCarthy get an Oscar nomination for Bridesmaids?
She did.
Okay, well, it's not out of the question then, is it?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Best supporting actor, because they're similar in tone, is my point. Those two, women, acting up, women going crazy.
Yep.
Best supporting actor, Willem Dafoe, The Florida Project. I would think certainly he's in the running among the 5 supporting performances that they'll.
He's the front runner at the moment, I would say.
Okay. Best actress, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. More on that in a little bit. We're going to talk about Lady Bird. Best actor, Timothée Chalamet.
Yes.
Call Me by Your Name. Have you been able to see Call Me by Your Name yet?
I haven't. I haven't even gotten a screener for it yet. So it's absurd too because it's been around for a year now. It's crazy. So
and it's the front runner, and you only got like one or two at most 3 front runners, and that's one of them. So it seems like that would be the given. Best screenplay, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread for his take on Vertigo.
I fully believe that he'll be in the running at least in screenplay because if we look at the history of his nominations, he's been nominated for generally everything that he, with the exception of The Master, which got a lot of acting nominations, but no nominations for Paul Thomas Anderson. He's pretty much been nominated for screenplay for almost everything that he's done.
Yeah.
Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Inherent Vice, and so it's quite a possibility there.
In Phantom Thread, that would be original screenplay, right? It's not based on anything, is it?
Yeah, it's an original screenplay. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be Paul Thomas Anderson and Jordan Peele, right? In the best original screenplay category. They'll
probably be going up against each other along with Greta Gerwig and so forth. So, and probably Martin McDonagh for 3 Billboards, which we'll also talk about later on in the show. So,
yeah. That'll win. Best cinematography. Best cinematography. Rachel Morrison for Mudbound. Now, the last go-around when we had the season 3 of our Art of Cinematography series, we had Rachel Morrison on. I talked to her for like 45 minutes, and she was not happy because I failed to mention 2 movies. I was mentioning the movies that weren't so obvious and the challenges of doing them, but she wanted to, so we scheduled another interview. So I did 2 interviews for one segment with her. But she's the first female cinematography winner at the New York Film Critics.
And, I mean, you know, she has a strong possibility of breaking that ceiling with the Oscars, which, you know, it's the one category where no female has ever been nominated before, so.
Yeah. Yeah, she is good. Best Director, Sean Baker, Florida Project.
That was a surprise. That was a big surprise. I mean, not that it's not deserved. It was just, I don't know, it just got a little bit out of left field for me. But definitely a beautiful job. And it must be very difficult, too, also directing a cast of mostly non-actors, at least as far as I could tell. I mean, you know, I mean, there's only, as far as I can tell, there's only 2 actors in it, and that's Defoe, and Caleb Landry Jones is in it and playing his son. But other than that, all faces I didn't recognize. And, of course, all the kids. I mean, wow. You know, it's an unusual directing job, too, for that movie, too, because he was, I guess he was doing a thing, this is an industry term called run and gun, which I imagine is just sort of like running around with the camera and seeing what you can get, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. He'd be very interesting to talk to.
I think we've had him on the show before, but because he did some movie with Ben Kingsley. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But wouldn't like every Terrence Malick movie be referred to as run and gun?
Possibly, yes. Yeah, you know, it could have something to do with the kind of improvisational, maybe an improvisational nature to things. I'm not entirely 100% sure as to the working methods and the you know, and how the screenplay was originally or whatever. So,
Best Animated Film, and I, you know, usually in every single year, Best Animated is pretty much a gimme, right? I mean, more often than not, we're pretty sure what Best Animated Feature will be pretty early, and this year it seems to be Coco, which I didn't know that Lee Unkrich was behind Coco. Lee Unkrich, who has a major Shining obsession. He's writing a book about The Shining.
Yes, and he's a big Shining collector and has a great website that is incredibly detailed. That is, you know, if you're a fan of that movie, his website is extraordinary. But
I better get a special thanks in his book, by the way, because he emailed me. He asked me for 10 different contacts, so he could contact them for his book, and I was like,
I'm sure you will then.
I better, man.
It's funny. I've got
that Toy Story guy's going down.
It's funny. I've got a thing that I wanted to. I've been wanting to send him a picture of because you know, he has all this, you know, ephemera listed and photographed on his site. You know, promotional materials and all sorts of stuff. And I have a very unusual piece of Shining promotional material that I've never seen anybody. You know, there's no evidence of it on the web at all. I've got it's real simple. It's just a 4-page program for the movie. That on the front, it's the yellow ad copy. In the middle, it's a list of all the cast and all the crew, and on the back, it's yellow again with the Warner Brothers logo, the old Warner Brothers logo on it.
Oh damn! Yeah, you need to photograph that and send it to them.
Yeah, it's very unusual.
Then you need to sell that shit on eBay.
I'm curious to see what it would get because I've never seen it. So, but
hell, he would buy it. He would even buy it, I'm sure. Let me pick up Jerry. Hang on. Hey Jerry, we're going over.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
We're going over New York Film Critics.
Okay, New York Film Critics, okay.
Best nonfiction film is Agnes Varda, Faces Places. She co-directed that, didn't she? Or
she did with somebody named J.R., which, they don't cite...
Larry Hagman.
They don't cite J.R., they only cite Agnes Varda, but, I haven't seen that yet either, so...
no, I haven't seen it.
Might be kind of a...
making the rounds around here, but I would like to see it, too.
I suspect this is almost kind of a career award for her.
That's foreign language.
Right. Yeah.
I would imagine this is Robin Campillo, or it could be Campillo. It's beats per minute, BPM. What is that? Spain or what country is that?
I think
is it a French movie? I'm not quite sure, but it might be Belgian or something like that. But that's the movie about the AIDS epidemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best first film. This is something that they give out. Is Jordan Peele in Get Out.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it's funny when you're giving. I know it's his first feature and everything, but he's probably been directing the TV show, the Key and Peele TV show for all this time. So it seems like a loaded kind of thing. I mean, I would have given it to John Carroll Lynch for Lucky, personally, because I think that's a real first film. But just like you can't really give it to Greta Gerwig either. People are mistaking Greta Gerwig's movie as being her first movie. It's not. It's really her second movie because she did Nights and Weekends with Joe Swanberg back in 2008. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, speaking of Greta Gerwig, she won Best Film for Lady Bird. So New York film critics liked Lady Bird, but they spread the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
They really did.
Yes.
Los Angeles film critics, they are giving out their awards right now.
Sally Hawkins.
They take all day to do it.
Best cinematography, they gave it to The Shape of Water, and the runner-up was Blade Runner 2049. Oh, they announced runners-up. It'd be so nice if the Oscars did that.
I like the runners-up too. I think that's a good thing.
Sometimes I like the runners-up more than the winner.
Yes.
Best music score, they gave it to Johnny Greenwood for Phantom Thread.
Wow.
And the runner-up is Alexander Desplat for The Shape of Water.
Now, Greenwood has still never been nominated for an Oscar, even though amongst all of the, movies, it's because both of the movies that he's done with Paul Thomas Anderson have significant source music used in it. So it muddies the water a little bit in terms of, there's a certain... I think the Academy has a rule that there has to be a certain number of minutes of an original score and a certain number... and if it doesn't hit that certain number of minutes, you can't be nominated. So...
No, his score for Inherent Vice is beautiful. I love his score for that movie.
I mean, he does great scores. He does great scores. There's just not enough of them.
Right.
True. I wonder if Paul Thomas Anderson gave him the whole movie to do. I would imagine he probably uses classical in this, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but best production design. The winner is Blade Runner 2049 at the Los Angeles Film Critics. The runner-up is Shape of Water. And Shape of Water is getting runner-up.
Yeah, I would have thought Shape of Water would have won that one because that looks like the key thing about that movie is the art direction. So,
best editing, Lee Smith for Dunkirk. The runner-up for best editing is I, Tonya.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Best screenplay, Get Out, Jordan Peele. The runner-up is 3 Billboards.
Both of them with significant, I would say minor, But when you start minor problems, but when you start thinking about them, once your eye has been pointed to them, you're like, ugh, that is a problem. Yikes, or whatever. I mean, for me, the big problem with Get Out is, and sorry if this is a spoiler, if it's a year later if you haven't seen Get Out
It's
yet.
been on HBO. It's been on HBO.
You've had a year. But there's that. I think it's absurd that at the end of the movie, you know, she's he finds out about the whole, you know, scheme that the white people are in on by finding a box of pictures of all of the men that the girl in the movie, his girlfriend, has led into this sort of weird kind of odd slavery. And I was like, why would somebody leave just a box of these pictures around? You know, it just seems absurd and kind of convenient. It feels like a movie construct, and so once that was actually pointed out to me by my friend Gary Sherwood, who we've had on the show, who's very much a stickler for things like that because he's a screenwriter himself, and he always comes back to me with, you know, certain problems about certain movies that I'd never thought of, and so. Once he pointed that out to me, I did, you know, it's just a little problem with it. And, you know, Three Billboards has its own problems, too, which we'll talk about later.
Okay. All right, good. Because it's been a couple of weeks, so I'd be curious. I can definitely see there are problems with it. I love the movie, but there are obviously problems with it, though. Yeah.
Okay. Best documentary. The winner is Faces Places. Again, Agnes Varda. The runner-up is Jane, the Brett Morgan doc.
Yeah, I've got a screener for that. I haven't watched it yet, so
you should watch it. Brett Morgan's a great. I really like Brett Morgan.
I'm going to take a look at it this week.
I've only liked like half of his films, but I do like him. Best foreign language film. The winner was a tie between Beats Per Minute and Loveless.
Gosh, I love that you know, that Russian movie, Loveless. It's fantastic. No mention of The Square, which I wonder if some people had problems with The Square because it has a couple. It really only has 2 or 3 English language scenes in it, but I wonder if that is a.
That might be. That's a good point. That's a really good point, Dan.
Yeah.
Best animation. They actually voted Coco for the runner-up, and they announced the winner of Best Animation is The Breadwinner. Breadwinner.
Yeah, that's a G Kids movie. I think it takes place in the Middle East. I'm not quite sure, but I haven't seen it quite yet. I have to say I stuck my head into Coco for a little bit, I sat and watched it for about 30 minutes, and usually a Pixar movie, even if you're coming in the middle of it, will catch your attention. But I didn't really find this very. Thought it was very beautiful to look at, but I didn't think on the screenplay level it was very distinguished.
Can I ask a dumb question about Coco? In my imagination, does it sort of look like the Del Toro one from a couple of years ago, The Book of Life? A little bit,
yes,
sort of similar?
Absolutely. It is absolutely, kind of that same, it's cut from the same cloth, and yeah.
Okay.
And this one's about Ice-T's wife, right?
Oh, that's good.
The girl with the big ass.
I hope Ice-T doesn't come beat me up now. Okay. Okay.
I mean, it is quite beautiful, but it wasn't very involving when I walked into it in the middle. I feel that way about Ice-T's wife. Best supporting actress. The runner-up is Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, and the winner's Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't even think about Laurie Metcalf. Okay, wow, all right.
Well, she'll be a front runner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's got to be.
No, it's a good performance. It's a good performance.
It's really going to be between her and Allison Janney for I, Tonya.
I think so. That's a good bet.
Oh, yeah.
Best supporting actor, runner-up. By the way, we're going to talk about Lady Bird in a little bit, but I just got to tell you how weird it was. Something happened that blew my mind. You know that post that Mark Johnson made, Dean, that we were both commenting on, and about the likely Best Picture nominees?
Mm-hmm.
And I made a comment of like what I thought the three front runners would be, and then I said, "But we got to wait for the smear campaigns to kick in."
Mm-hmm. Which we did.
And I was going to tag that with, people probably will have problems with that Matt Lauer appearance in Lady Bird. At that point, I hadn't seen Lady Bird. I saw Lady Bird last night.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Matt Lauer's in it.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like it's like what the hell? I had no knowledge of that when I was going to make that comment.
You just have
my
special Dionne Warwick powers of Second Friends Network.
I really do. Best supporting actor, Willem Dafoe picked up the LA Film Critics as well, as he did with New York, and the runner-up was Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards.
Mm.
So I think that's where it's going to. I think for right now, that's where it's at between those two. I mean, I really do.
Yep, no question.
Best actress. The runner-up at L.A. is Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards. The winner was Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water.
Wow, they really went for Shape of Water in a big way.
Toro.
Yeah, they went for that movie in a big way. Yeah,
more
I
like
would,
the Shape of Winter.
If I were, if I get to see Shape of Water before, the voting deadline for my critics group, I will also include her performance in Maudie as a, because I think that's one of the great performances of the year. It's kind of being forgotten, but.
Is she in that with Ethan Hawke?
Yes.
Okay. Best actor, rather. Runner-up was James Franco for The Disaster Artist. It is L.A. And the winner is Timothy Chalamet, again for Call Me By Your Name. So he won both the New York and the L.A.
So if he gets nominated for the Best Actor award, he'll be one of the youngest Best Actor nominees ever. Because they don't tend to, you know how the Best Actress always slips, they'll occasionally slip in, somebody who's very young, like
Tatum O'Neal, Anna Paquin,
those were supporting performances, but but like people like the girl from Beast of the Southern Wild, or or from The Whale Rider, Keisha Hughes or whatever. Keisha Hughes. Yeah. That doesn't happen in Best Actor at all. I think the last sort of child performance that got nominated was way back in the 30s with Jackie Cooper being nominated for Skippy. So, it just doesn't happen very often, and certainly not a lot of teenagers either, or even people in their early 20s, as Chalamet is. So,
okay, Best Director. The runner-up was the director of Call Me By Your Name, Luca Guadagnino. The winner was Del Toro for The Shape of Water.
Wow, I think I see where this is going.
Best Picture.
Yeah.
The runner-up was The Florida Project, and the winner was Call Me By Your Name.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
you gotta think this Call Me By Your Name is going to be very prominent this year. Just the way the country is going and everything. And remember, this is going to be where this is where the rebellion's going to be, if you want to say. I mean, movies that are this will be where the war is being fought. And I'm not saying, I'm sure it's a very good movie. It looks like a beautiful film. But these films will definitely be prominent come Oscar season. So this does not surprise me.
Well, movies about gay people?
Yes, because we're living where the country's sort of going backwards, Jamie. So this is where we're at right now. This is, I honestly believe that. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, I just mean that that's the reality.
Yeah. You're talking about the use of the awards as kind of a social justice warrior kind of weapon.
I am.
see.
Yes, I am, and that's what I see going on right now with these critics awards. Because a year ago I would have said Phantom Thread, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Right. I don't disagree
so that's what
with
I'm saying.
you. I was just asking you to clarify.
Yeah. That's right. And I'm not belittling these films either. I'm sure they're very good films. I'm just saying that's right now people have to fight the battle where they can fight it. So
I mean, personally, I think that's the strongest thing that the Post has going for it. And Dean's going to talk about that in a little bit. But
okay, cool. I want to hear that.
That social justice vote, I think, is important. Is an important factor of the Post. So we'll find out a little bit. Top 10 indie. Okay, this is the National Board of Review. They announce like top 5 of the year and all that kind of stuff as well. So I'll just go through their top films of the year. Baby Driver, Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Downsizing, Dunkirk, The Florida Project, Get Out, Lady Bird, Logan, and Phantom Thread. The National Board of Review. Those are their top 10 of the year.
Wow, they included Logan.
But Logan, of all those films, of all the big films, that's the one I would go with because I think it's the best of that genre. That's the first positive thing I've seen about downsizing, though, from anybody. That's I didn't know that. I had no idea that would be on there. So. Yeah.
Well, if Logan gets some Oscar love, then you might as well change the name of the movie to Logan Lucky. All right.
That's nowhere on there. Okay.
Here's their awards. National Board of Review. Spotlight Award goes to Wonder Woman, whatever that is. I guess. Hey, we can't give it to anybody. Can't give this any other award. So let's spotlight it in this one. Best Ensemble, Get Out. Best Documentary, Jane. Best Foreign Language Film, Foxtrot.
I don't know that.
Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand this. They also named their top 5 foreign language films of the year. Foxtrot isn't among them.
Oh, they don't. They don't. They're weird about that. Whatever wins isn't in the list. So yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Best Directorial Debut, again, Jordan Peele. Best Breakthrough Performance, Timothée Chalamet in Call Me by Your Name. Best Animated Feature, Coco. Best Adapted Screenplay, The Disaster Artist. Best Original Screenplay, Phantom Thread. Best Supporting Actress, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird. Best Supporting Actor, Willem Dafoe again. So all 3 of these have awarded it to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a good performance.
Best Director.
It's a really good performance.
Best Director, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird. Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Film are all the Post. Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, and the film itself won the National Board of Review.